Hey, how about a 10-minute ritual to kickstart 2025? I'm Marlene Davis, Master Coach. This is my list of what I suggest for a ritual for starting the new year. Maybe you already had some ritual with champagne, with sparkling wine, with grapes, or anything that you can do, but let's try this one. This is a real coaching version. So there are 5 questions. I'm going to go through them with you right now. If you'd like to do this ritual with me right now, come on, go ahead. If you'd like to do it later, writing it down. If you want to do a 1-hour version, go ahead. If you want to do a 10 one and just get it done, because that's important, come on, let's do it now. And let's start this ritual here with the mindset of I want to do this for my intention to have a 2025 that's going to be very special. We usually do this, but sometimes we're more serious with ourselves than others. So the very first question is, what were my wins this year? This is a pretty obvious one, very typical one many people are doing. What are my wins this year is a great way to go into gratitude. And with the intention of connecting with the other points, when you think about what were my wins this year, think about the meaningful ones for you because you put an extra dose of effort, you're especially impressed with yourself about that, or was way overdue for you to have done. So that's the first one. The second one, if we went straight to this might be beating yourself up. But since we're in here in this context of having a ritual for 2025, time to be frank, time to be honest, time to have radical candor with yourself. And the question is, what were my recurring shortcomings? Remember, not to beat yourself up, but if you really look at the patterns of the year of things that you intended to do and you didn't get done, your own expectations about yourself that were not realistic, repetitive failures with yourself. I don't really believe in failures. I think everything's feedback. That's the time to do it now. But really reflect on that question. What were my recurring shortcomings? Okay, you got that done. Then you go to the part about self-responsibility, and we will take it to identity. And the question is, what does this say about who I am? This is about self-concept. What beliefs does this bring up? I mean, if you say, I'm a bad person, you already know that's a belief, right? A belief about yourself, and just take a look at that from a distance. But about who you are may be how you describe yourself, how you conceive of yourself, some of the limits that you create for yourself, some of the boundaries. They're positive boundaries, healthy boundaries about the difference between you and another person. And their limiting boundaries is that, I'm not capable of this, I don't deserve this, I don't have permission, or I don't know if it's for me. Those are the kind of boundaries that can cause self-imposed limits that you don't necessarily need to go on in the kind of way that you want to do. So the fourth question is, and now it's an obvious one, if you looked at your wins, you've looked at recurring shortcomings, frankly, you've taken this to yourself. What does this mean about me, who I am, how I'm showing up for myself, or standing up for myself, giving myself voice or not? Because since we're looking at wins, you might have some wonderful things to say about yourself this year. Think about 2025. What needs to change going forward from here on? And usually you can get to some immediate flashes. Your intuition may show something for you immediately. You may need to dig down a little bit on that. If it doesn't come at first moment, keep it as a meditation question for yourself. What needs to change going forward? And then that takes us to the last one, which is going to be very important for changing results. Choosing results to change yourself. So we have, here it is, what are my 2 goals for next year? One realistic, obvious goal based on what I currently know how to do or what I know how to learn. And these are often ones in which you have a no-do gap. You know what you need to do, you know how to do it, you just aren't doing it. So when you get one of those kind of goals and you do it, this changes your opinion about yourself. It's practicing discipline. And you give yourself a morale boost when you do this. And dopamine boost, because it will really change your energy having done that. In the concept of life coaching, you get points. This generates energy for you when you take care of things you need to take care of. This might be finally starting that good habit that you wanted to do, or finally getting through that bad habit. You know it, it's obvious, just do it. Press play anyway. And another one is another kind of goal that's like a crazy ambitious, exaggerated goal, 10 times more than you would set for yourself. And this has this very specific reason. Many people don't allow themselves to think of these very ambitious goals because at the moment they don't know how they're going to do it. They don't know how to learn it. They have no idea. So many people don't waste their energy on such ambitious goals. But that's exactly the question here, is to use your energy to set one of these crazy ambitious goals, 10 times bigger, a super stretch goal, because that'll push you right out of your comfort zone. You won't be able to figure it out with your current mindset. So if you set up one would be fine for this year. If you set up one to do this year, then you can use your energy to change your mindset around that. And these should all support each other. If you know what your wins are this year, you know more about yourself, self-knowledge. If you know your current shortcomings, if you know what it's saying about yourself, you don't have to change yourself completely in any year. It's like a project. What am I going to work on in myself? What needs to change going forward this year? Then you use the 2 goals. You can have more goals than this, but for this ritual, just one obvious goal, and one total stretch crazy goal that on the moment you make it, you have no idea how you're going to make it happen. And that's the whole point. These are things that I work with my coaching clients, me as a master coach, and them as people who are leaders of their own life and ambitious about getting change and willing to invest in themselves. These are topics that I truly actually work on with my clients when we do coaching cycles. And maybe that's your case, that it would be good for you to have support of a coach, accountability, and some of my expert and experienced advice about how to take action and how to create strategies to get these done. And also, as I was making this list, I noticed, my gosh, these are giant subjects. Each of them could be a live or a video in themselves. And so if you would like me to speak more on any one of these 5 points, make a comment. Just write the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll go into it much more. Well, maybe not much more, maybe 10 times more than I did, as I mentioned everything really briefly here. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Marcia, Elaine, my sister, Mariani, Louisa, Natalia. This one is in English because Arlene Davis Coach is actually my English Instagram profile. And when I finish this, after putting on a cover and a caption and the last little few adjustments, I'm going on to my Instagram program in Portuguese, Arlene K. Davis, tá bom? Thank you for spending a few moments of your time with me. And my intention for the year, has to do with my personal list, is to be much more on here with my free content and on this English channel that I haven't used so much, but English is my native language. It makes sense for me to use it. Why I'm not using my English, or why wasn't I? Because that's going to change. Take care, everybody. Love y'all. Bye-bye.